Just a few misplaced items in the living room can cause wealth to walk right through your front door and quietly slip away before it even has a chance to stay, without the homeowner ever realizing it. In Feng Shui, the living room is considered the bright hall of the house. It is the area where positive energy first enters and is supposed to linger, creating a sense of brightness, openness, and order for the entire home. When the living room is positioned too far inside or is hidden from view, this good energy can weaken right from the beginning. That makes it harder for prosperity to accumulate and often leaves the home with an unsettled, uneasy feeling, especially in the year 2026, when the dominant energy is already fast-paced and more likely to make people feel restless or impatient. That is why, in today's video, I am going to share with you some taboos you should absolutely avoid in your living room if you want to attract wealth and success to your home. Let us go through them one by one, starting right now. First, the living room is pushed too far back or hidden from view. A common mistake in many modern homes is placing the living room too deep inside or letting it get blocked from plain sight. You walk in through the main entrance but cannot see the living space right away. Instead, you have to pass through a long hallway, make a few turns, or even walk past the kitchen, laundry area, or bathroom before you reach the living room. When the living room is located too far inside, the welcoming rhythm of the house is broken. A guest who just entered has to keep walking, and the homeowner rarely gets a natural moment to greet and engage in conversation. The sense of formality in the receiving space is lost, making interactions feel rushed and awkward. It becomes harder to build trust from the very start. In terms of energy flow, the front door is where energy enters, while the living room is the area meant to hold that energy, helping the entire house feel balanced. If the path from the door to the living room is too long or blocked by several layers of space, that energy keeps getting pulled away, broken up, and weakened before it can gather in the center of the home. Even more concerning, when guests have to walk through multiple private areas, they tend to feel uneasy and are less likely to stay long. Without a proper stop right at the entryway, the homeowner often ends up distracted, jumping from task to task, with conversations getting interrupted and connections becoming harder to form. For many families, success and good fortune rely on how often and how well they connect with the right people. A hidden living room weakens those chances, making it harder to meet the right person and say the right thing, which in turn slows down progress and opportunities. To fix this, you can place a doormat just inside the front door to create a subtle pause. Add a warm yellow light near the entrance or at the start of the hallway to keep the path bright. If your entryway passes by the kitchen, keep it clean and reduce odors with a hood and a covered trash bin. Consider placing a short shelf or a light curtain to gently separate the entrance path. And make sure to clear any clutter near the doorway. Keep the path straight and open so that stepping into your home feels neat and pleasant. Once that transition space is adjusted, even a deep-set living room will feel more grounded, and good energy will find it easier to stay. Second, the front door lines up with the back door or directly faces a balcony. Another important Feng Shui rule is avoiding a layout where the main door lines up directly with the back door or a balcony. This layout is especially common in narrow townhouses, long apartments, or homes with a hallway running straight through. If you can stand at your front door and see a straight line leading to the back door or balcony, then the energy flowing in will also rush straight out, just like wind blowing through a long tube. Even if people live in the house and go about their day, the flow of energy does not linger or get distributed evenly across rooms. It just passes right through. This kind of layout often leads to a fast-paced lifestyle. People in the house may feel constantly rushed, always jumping from one task to the next. Even small issues can feel urgent. Financially, you might notice that money flows in steadily, but also flows out just as fast, with unexpected expenses popping up right after making a plan. To fix this, follow the principle of block the straight path, guide the energy, and let it stay. If your front door faces the back door or balcony, place something in between to gently block the flow. You can use a thin screen, a medium-height decorative shelf, a short cabinet, or even a standing potted plant. Just make sure whatever you use is tidy, sturdy, and does not add more clutter. In apartments, you can use a rug to create a visual break in the hallway, helping the energy pause rather than shoot straight through. If the door faces a balcony, hang 2-layer curtains and pull the sheer inner layer during windy times to soften the sense of openness from front to back. If the hallway is too straight, try placing a plant at the edge of the walkway so that anyone stepping inside naturally shifts direction slightly and the energy does the same. When this alignment is corrected, your home feels calmer, daily routines flow more smoothly, and it becomes easier to hold on to your income. Third, the living room is dark and lacks natural light. The living room is a shared space where the family gathers and welcomes guests. If the lighting is poor, the space loses energy, daily life becomes less comfortable, and the home feels smaller and heavier. This often happens in apartments with small windows, balconies blocked by buildings next door, curtains that stay closed all day, bulky furniture blocking the light, dark-colored walls, or ceiling lights that use harsh white tones or are simply too dim. As a result, even a clean living room can still feel gloomy. Walking in, it does not feel open. It feels like everything is weighing down. Lighting directly affects our biological rhythm and emotional state. A dark living room tends to make people less active, more prone to procrastination, and physically tired. People sit longer in one spot. As mental energy drops, conversations become shorter and snappier, making it harder to maintain a warm and friendly atmosphere. In terms of prosperity, poor lighting weakens the vitality of the space, making meetings and work discussions at home feel dull, harder to build trust, and more difficult to close deals or nurture relationships. In the fast-paced year of 2026, a dark living room can make stress and lack of focus more noticeable. Even small tasks can quickly become overwhelming. To fix this, use 2-layer curtains, light sheers for daytime and heavier ones for nighttime. Avoid keeping heavy curtains closed all day. Clear out large furniture or tall items that block windows or light sources, such as oversized shelves or dense plants. If both the walls and the sofa are dark, brighten the room with cream or beige throw pillows, light-colored throws, or medium-toned rugs to lift the space visually. Mirrors can also help reflect light. Place them diagonally across from windows, but avoid putting them directly opposite the front door. When it comes to lighting, do not rely on just one overhead light. Use layers of lighting instead: a warm ceiling light for overall brightness, a floor lamp or table lamp near the sofa to create warmth, and a wall-mounted light for any dim corners. Choose warm-toned lights to make the living room feel cozy and lively. When the room is brighter, the space looks bigger, daily life feels easier, conversations flow better, and opportunities tied to connection and success become more attainable. Fourth, placing the sofa directly under a ceiling beam. A ceiling beam is a horizontal structure that runs across the ceiling, often forming a ridge or lowering part of the ceiling. When the main seating area sits under it, people feel a weight above them. With less headroom, the body tenses up. After a while, the neck, shoulders, and head may ache. This is a normal response to spatial pressure. The sofa is where families gather to relax, talk, or welcome guests. When it is under a beam, conversations often get cut short. People shift around, grow irritated, or want to get up. It feels like sitting together but not relaxing. This hurts communication. The living room sets the mood for connection. When the main seat lacks comfort, conversations become strained, short, or rushed. In 2026, When life moves fast and tempers rise more easily, a ceiling beam adds stress. To fix it, move the sofa away from the beam. Even shifting it 8 to 16 inches or about 20 to 40 centimeters can help. In narrow rooms, rotate the sofa to face another wall. For a complete fix, install a false ceiling to cover the beam. If not possible yet, use LED uplights or wall sconces to brighten the ceiling above and reduce its weight visually. Also, skip heavy chandeliers centered on the beam. The goal is to make the seating area feel open and lighter. When the ceiling above looks clear, it is easier to relax and hold smoother conversations. Fifth, an uneven living room floor with different levels or bumps. The living room is where people walk most and where shared life happens. When the floor is uneven with steps, bumps, or tiles at different heights, it disrupts the flow of space. Movement becomes awkward and tripping becomes easier. Kids and older adults are especially at risk. Visually, the room feels chopped up, with sitting and walking areas sharply divided, which takes away the sense of openness. This impacts daily rhythm. An uneven floor makes people stay alert, watching every step. That alertness blocks relaxation. Conversations get interrupted, the room is used less, and family bonding fades. In Feng Shui, the floor is the root of household energy. A split-level floor often mirrors a work life full of stops and stumbles. In 2026, with things moving fast, it pushes people into rushed actions. That can lead to careless mistakes, surprise costs, or repairs. To fix it, level the floor as much as possible. Flatten sunken or raised areas and avoid steps in the middle of the room. If renovation is not an option, lay a large area rug to smooth the surface. Choose one with good grip and apply anti-slip tape on the edges. Steps should have visible edges and enough lighting, especially at night. The goal is to walk easily without needing to dodge anything. When the floor is flat, life flows smoother and the room feels warmer. Sixth, a mirror placed directly behind the sofa. Many people hang a mirror behind the sofa to brighten or expand the space. But the sofa is the main seating area where people relax, talk, and host guests. With a mirror right behind, every movement behind you gets reflected. This distracts your focus because your eyes keep catching changes in your side view. People get startled more easily and struggle to stay present in conversation. Mirrors reflect light, people, and movement. In homes with kids, elderly family, or guests, it can feel overstimulating. Distractions can turn into tension, making people more irritable. Guests often feel uneasy sitting on a sofa with no solid backing, especially if the mirror reflects the front door or hallway. In 2026, with emotions running high, a mirror in the wrong place can raise stress quickly. To solve this, move the mirror to a side wall. It will still reflect light without affecting the main seating. If it cannot be moved, cover part of it with fabric or use a frosted decal to soften the reflection. Another option is to replace the mirror with artwork or a matte wall decoration. That makes the wall feel more secure. The goal is to reduce movement in the seating area so that conversations feel more natural and the energy stays calm and steady. Seventh, displaying sharp or pointed objects in the living room. These sharp objects can include decorative swords, weapon models, animal horns, mounted heads, sharply edged ornaments, sculptures with pointed tips, glass tables with sharp corners, harshly angled shelves, or spiky plants placed near seating. The living room is where people gather closely and walk around frequently. Children and seniors also tend to spend time here. Sharp objects not only increase the risk of physical accidents but also create visual tension. Looking at sharp angles and pointed edges for a long time overstimulates the eyes and lowers the sense of ease. This can make conversations feel rushed and tempers flare more easily. You often see the effect in daily habits. When a sharp table corner faces someone, they tend to shift uncomfortably or constantly change positions. With too many pointed decorations, the room loses its softness, and guests may not feel like staying for long. For families who often discuss money or business in the living room, the sharp visual environment can lead to overly direct speech, quick reactions, or heated debates. In 2026, with life already moving quickly, the living room needs softness and balance to maintain calm and effective communication. To correct this, soften or remove sharp items from the main area, store weapons or sharp-edged objects in a closed cabinet, or move them to less used spaces. Replace square coffee tables with rounded ones, or add corner covers or tablecloths to reduce their sharpness. For shelves with sharp corners, place round-leafed plants or soft, circular decor in front to visually soften them. If you like Feng Shui plants, go for thick, round, soft leaves and avoid sharp ones pointing at the seating area. The goal is for the living room to look gentle, feel safe to walk through, and feel relaxing when you sit down. When the visual environment becomes less sharp, speech and daily rhythms soften too, making your home more peaceful and your work life smoother. 8th, hanging disturbing or aggressive artwork. Some people choose paintings of tigers, eagles, dragons bearing teeth, demonic faces, violent characters, intense stares, or distorted red and black heavy images because they think these are strong or powerful. But when such artwork is placed in the living room, your eyes encounter those intense images multiple times a day, and your brain stays in a state of alert. This sharpens your tone, quickens your reactions, and even small disagreements can escalate. Older family members may quietly feel uneasy around these images. For children, they may cause fear or irritability. When guests visit, the threatening visuals create tension and discourage open conversation, making the living room feel unfriendly. Instead of being a welcoming space, it becomes a place people want to leave quickly. To fix this, remove any disturbing artwork from the living room and move it to a less used space, or simply put it away. Replace it with calming and bright visuals, peaceful landscapes, flowers, countryside scenes, still waters, sunrise skies, or horizons with open views art that brings a sense of calm. If you prefer strong imagery, choose something calm but powerful, like solid mountains or forests. Look for pieces with balanced composition and lighter tones. If replacing the artwork right away is not possible, cover it temporarily with a light fabric or hang another piece over it to reduce the visual impact. When the living room becomes calmer, so does conversation. The pace of the household slows down and gatherings go more smoothly. 9th, keeping withered plants in the living room. Many people like adding greenery to soften the space, but they leave plants underwatered with yellowing leaves, dry branches, moldy soil, or dirty pots. Sometimes old, dusty, fake flowers are left in place. When a dying plant sits in the living room, it immediately makes the entire space feel dull, neglected, and lifeless. This is a very real effect, not superstition. In terms of daily life, a dying plant signals that the care routine has been broken. When people get used to seeing something deteriorating every day, they start ignoring other things that need fixing, like messy corners, poor lighting, or clutter left in a rush. Financially, a lifeless space drains motivation to make long-term plans. People tend to spend impulsively and let small issues snowball into bigger ones. To rebalance your living room, replace dying plants instead of keeping them just to avoid waste. Trim off yellow leaves and dry branches. Change the top layer of soil if it smells. Clean the pot and saucer, and do not let water pool up. Choose hardy indoor plants like pothos, ZZ plant, snake plant, or aralia. Place them in areas with indirect light and away from direct air conditioning. Set a regular watering schedule and always touch the soil first to avoid overwatering. When the plant thrives again, the living room looks brighter, cleaner, and more cared for. That makes it easier to welcome guests and improves the mood of the entire household. 10th, hanging mysterious charms or talismans with unknown origins. Many people are given or buy charms and symbols based on word of mouth, then stick them on the wall, behind the door, in picture frames, in ceiling corners, or on shelves, hoping to ward off or attract something. But the living room is the most active space in a home. Putting up strange symbols, unfamiliar characters, or heavy colors can create discomfort and unease for both family members and visitors. When a household places too much belief in something they do not fully understand, people tend to rely on it and neglect what actually matters: cleaning, lighting, tidiness, communication, and money management. Sometimes disagreements even arise because each family member believes in different things. Some feel reassured, others feel uneasy. Over time, this builds tension. If guests see visible talismans, it may make them hesitant and create distance, reducing the friendly atmosphere of the living room. To correct this, gently take the charm down, wrap it in clean paper, and store or dispose of it respectfully and quietly. If you want to keep spiritual elements in the space, replace them with more universally peaceful symbols, words of blessing, cheerful floral paintings, decorations with calming messages, or a small, neat corner where you keep good wishes. The living room should be bright, clean, and clear. When the shared space feels light and pleasant, conversations become smoother, minds feel more grounded, and both business and financial matters tend to run more steadily. 11th, too many exposed electrical cords in the living room. Charging cables, extension cords, speaker wires, modem cords, decorative light strings when they are stretched across the walls, piled under the television stand, or hanging down from a desk in the living room. They may seem like small things at first, but they are one of the fastest ways to make a space look chaotic. When cables are tangled like a spider web, the first impression is instantly messy and careless. Even with expensive furniture, the home feels smaller and less refined. More than that, dangling wires are a common cause of tripping, especially for children and elderly people. Bundled cords are more likely to get pinched or bent, and over time, their insulation can wear out, increasing the risk of short circuits. Overloaded extension plugs powering a television, speakers, air purifier, phone chargers, fans, and more can overheat and shorten the life of your devices. In a living room packed with electrical items, constant humming and blinking lights can also disrupt the calm atmosphere. People sit for a while, then feel the urge to get up. Nobody wants to linger or chat for long. To create a more stable and polished space, hide the cords using cable covers that run along the baseboards, or use plastic tubing in colors that blend in with your walls so they look like neat, straight lines. Group cords by function television, speakers and modem in one bundle, lights in another, chargers in another. Use Velcro ties to hold them together and label them to know which wire belongs to which device. You can reduce visible cords by installing in-wall sockets near the television area or storing the extension cord inside a cabinet with built-in cable holes to keep things out of sight. Near the sofa, have a dedicated charging spot. Place a side table nearby with an outlet and use short cords or a charging dock instead of dragging long cables across the floor. Once the cables are organized, your living room will immediately look cleaner, feel safer, and leave a better impression on guests. 12th, the living room directly faces a bathroom. This is a common issue in apartments or townhouses where the bathroom door opens straight toward the sofa or guest seating area. If you can stand at the main door or sit on the sofa and see the bathroom door clearly, it already creates a visual and energetic block in the layout. When the bathroom faces the living room, Smells can easily drift out, especially right after use or after a hot shower. Moisture from the bathroom can also make the surrounding air feel heavy and stuffy if the ventilation is weak. In the living room, this humidity and odor make it uncomfortable to sit for long, and the family may avoid gathering there. Over time, the dampness can damage furniture like wooden cabinets, fabric sofas, and rugs, leaving behind unpleasant odors and making the living room wear out faster. A few simple fixes can make a big difference. Always keep the bathroom door closed, that is the most basic rule. Install an exhaust fan or upgrade the ventilation system to push air outside. Use a door seal or rubber strip to block smells from escaping. Place an absorbent mat inside the bathroom and a non-slip mat outside the door to keep water from spreading into the living room. If your apartment has the sofa facing the bathroom, reposition the seating or change its direction so the main view no longer points at the bathroom door. Once corrected, the living room will feel cleaner and more refined. Odors will noticeably decrease, your furniture will last longer, and you will feel more confident welcoming guests. And with that, we have just gone through 12 important taboos to avoid in your living room. As you can see, sometimes just a few small details like the layout of a walkway, lighting, furniture placement, or where you sit can shift the rhythm of your home. That in turn affects the peace in your household, your relationships, and even whether wealth stays or slips away in the year 2026. So now, take the time to adjust your living room, starting with the simplest steps. Clear up walkways, remove excess clutter, brighten the main seating area, get distracting items out of sight, and replace things that drag the energy down like dying plants, tangled cords, or sharp corners. Even just tidying up slowly like that will make your living room feel brighter and cozier. The space will feel lighter, more inviting, and your daily life will flow more smoothly. And before we wrap up, leave a positive affirmation down in the comments. I take care of my living space every day so that wealth comes in and stays for a long time in my home. And do not forget to subscribe to Master Zhen Feng Shui Secrets for Wealth, so you never miss out on timeless Feng Shui tips to help your family keep your finances strong, gather more prosperity, and enjoy lasting peace and stability.